Let's trace the path of a global crisis. Now this one is hypothetical, but it's a story that shows just how our interconnected world, this absolute marvel of modern logistics, is also incredibly, terrifyingly fragile. We're about to see how closing just one little choke point could set off a chain reaction that touches every single one of us.
It sounds like something out of a disaster movie, right? But the global supply chain, the one that keeps our modern lives running smoothly, is so much more delicate than we realize. This isn't just some abstract idea about ships on the ocean. We're talking about the food you eat, the gas in your car, and yeah, the stability of the entire world economy.
So let's start with a number, 20%. Just let that sink in for a second. That's the share of the entire world's daily supply of oil and natural gas that squeezes through one single narrow choke point. That means 1 out of every 5 barrels of oil powering our planet has to pass through this one tiny, vulnerable channel.
And this is it, the Strait of Hormuz. You know, it's not so much a channel as it is the world's main energy artery. And if you block an artery, well, the global economy doesn't just get a little sick, it risks having a full-on heart attack.
All right, so let's play this out. Let's imagine the date is March 4th, 2026. The Strait of Hormuz is shut down, just like that. Suddenly, that 20% of the world's energy, it's just stuck. The first domino has just been pushed. So what happens next?
The reaction is immediate, and it is violent. What's truly shocking here is the speed of the panic. We're talking less than a month, and the price of Brent crude oil just skyrockets by over 55%. This isn't just a number on a trader's screen. This is the first shockwave of a global economic storm.
And it's not just oil. We have to talk about liquefied natural gas, or LNG. It's absolutely vital for heating homes and powering industries all across Europe and Asia. So when Qatar Energy, one of the biggest suppliers on the planet, is forced to declare force majeure, that's basically them saying, we physically cannot get you the gas we promised. The fuel is trapped. An entire continent's energy security is now on the line.
So, up to now, it's been about markets and contracts, but not anymore. Now that shockwave starts to hit home, affecting you, me, everybody, everywhere.
And here it is, the first, most direct hit for millions of people. By the end of March, gas prices in the US have jumped by 30%. Suddenly, just filling up your car becomes a major financial hit. Every single commute, every delivery truck, every trip to the store now costs a whole lot more. But here's the twist. The pain doesn't stop at the pump. See, natural gas is a key ingredient in making fertilizer. So with energy prices going through the roof, the cost of fertilizer jumps by 40%. And if it costs more to grow food, well, you know where this is going. It's only a matter of time before it costs a lot more to buy it. And here's the extreme version of that logic. For nations in the Gulf that import over 80% of their food through that very strait that's now closed, the situation is becoming catastrophic. They're declaring a grocery supply emergency as basic food prices spike by as much as 120%. This is pushing the whole region toward a massive humanitarian crisis. And listen, this isn't just some academic theory. This is a direct warning from Qatar's energy minister as the crisis is unfolding. He sees the dominoes falling in real time, and he knows exactly where this is headed: full-blown global economic collapse.
Now the fear starts to spread. It jumps from the physical world of ships and oil tankers to the digital world of finance. The physical crisis is about to kick off a global financial contagion.
And just like that, all the world's financial dashboards are flashing bright red. Stock markets from New York to Tokyo are tumbling, investors are dumping government bonds, which is a huge sign of deep uncertainty. Airline stocks just nosedive because, hey, their entire business model is unworkable with these fuel costs. The quiet whisper of recession suddenly becomes a deafening roar.
And this is the nightmare scenario for any government or economist. It's called stagflation. It's a truly toxic mix. You've got prices for everything going up, so people can afford less and less, but at the same time, the economy is shrinking, which means jobs are disappearing. It is the absolute worst of both worlds, and the usual tools that central banks use to fix things, they're pretty much useless here.
So what's the big takeaway from this whole cascading failure? It pulls back the curtain on the hidden vulnerabilities that are just baked into our modern, globalized system.
I mean, when you actually lay it all out, the chain reaction is terrifyingly simple. First, one blocked artery. That leads to a massive energy shock. That shock, in turn, breaks the supply chains for everything else: food, fertilizer, you name it.
Those broken supply chains create runaway inflation. And finally, that inflation, combined with the energy shock, threatens to shove the entire global economy into a deep recession. Each domino just falls, one after the other, perfectly in sequence.
You know, the damage isn't just measured in dollars and cents. According to the Middle East Council on Global Affairs, a crisis like this exposes a fundamental fragility. The whole idea of the Gulf as this permanently safe, stable hub for business and travel, it's shattered. The trust that holds our global systems together can be broken, and that is a very hard thing to repair.
And that leaves us with a pretty heavy question. The Strait of Hormuz is just one choke point. There are others out there, in our financial systems, in our technology, in our food supply. This scenario showed us just how fast everything can unravel. So the question we have to ask ourselves is, how resilient is our world really to the next single point of failure?